Welcome everyone to the all-new 2025 Chevrolet Equinox. Yes, what I'm sitting in right now is an Equinox. This is the fully loaded active trim, all the bells and whistles. It's around 40-ish grand. I'm honestly impressed. This whole few days I've just had this thing, I'm impressed. It's comfortable, it's quiet, it's feature packed, incredible amounts of storage space. Everything feels really solid, well built. The design of the seats is awesome. The absolutely massive panoramic glass roof, the visibility around it. The Chevy really knocked it out of the ballpark on this one. We're going to take a quick look on the outside. This is a true first impressions. I honestly don't even know all the specs of this car just yet, but we have this really cool two-tone paint finish on this one with a white roof. Really like this kind of khaki style color here. Equinox badge on the side. We also have these really aggressive all-terrain rubber over here, since this is the active trim. You can also get an RS trim. Really like the styling they've done on this. It looks like a baby Traverse or a baby, Tahoe at this point. They've really brought that Chevrolet styling, unique look to the whole lineup here. And the dimensions are bubblier, are not bubbly anymore. It's boxy. It looks like a nice tiny little SUV, and it's incredibly big on the inside. So this is a huge step up from previous Equinoxes. Even the rear of this, I'm really a big fan of this design. You don't have to get this color combo, of course, but I'm a huge fan of this. It's awesome. We have these blacked out badges over here, loads of trunk space in the back as well, full power tailgate, digital rear view camera as well, and even this cool accented treatment on the lower end area is awesome. We even have a spare tire underneath here still. Thank you, Chevy, for including that. A lot of high marks on this vehicle already. I've just been driving it for a day or two. Even the rear seats have so much storage. The entire floor, sorry, all the junk in here, is completely flat, even with all-wheel drive. So impressive feat there. Again, that huge panoramic glass roof. Let's go hop in, take this thing on a drive and get some of my first impressions here. Coming inside, we have loads of creature comforts in this vehicle as well. We have that selectable all-wheel twin clutch all-wheel drive system we've seen on plenty of Chevrolet products. This one also has ventilated and heated front seats, which is really nice of a feature. Love this new infotainment system. It even has object detection on the side, bicycle side detection, and check this out. We have Google Maps up here as well as Apple Maps, so I love that feature. And if you're on Apple Maps, you can go out of this screen and it will change this display up here for you. You can also make this a driver assistance display. And we also have our shifter up here now, which is really nice. We have 360-degree view cameras over here, loads of different views. They all are very quick and responsive to activate. Really love that, Chevy. Park as well. A few different drive modes. We just have normal, off-road, snow and ice. That's just really going to change the tuning of this twin clutch all-wheel drive system there. And like I said, lots of high marks. So let's head out on the road. And first impressions here, it's the same engine actually as the previous Equinox, so that actually has not changed that much, though I have to say it's not the worst engine. What is new though is what it's paired to. We now have an 8-speed automatic gearbox if you do choose the all-wheel drive Equinox models. Front-wheel drive models will unfortunately get a CVT, so go with the all-wheel drive. It's not that much more of a money spend, and this 8-speed is quite nice, I think, with this engine. It feels quite peppy. Plenty of torque. Horsepower is around the 180, just around 180 horsepower range, which it could be a little bit higher. I'd like to see it around 200, but the torque really makes this vehicle feel quite peppy and around. It's been getting pretty good fuel economy as well, and I have to say the driving dynamics of this new generation Equinox are really impressive. It is really quiet in here, like one of the quietest vehicles of this class that I have driven this year. I've driven plenty of competitors, from the Sorento to the Forester. This is the quietest. And also, I think has one of the best rides. The Forester is really comfortable. This is right up there, I think, in terms of suspension tuning. Really impressive. And I have to say, even driving dynamics here are quite nice. The steering wheel is super chunky. The first thoughts when I got in this was like, oh my god, this feels like a BMW M steering wheel in terms of thickness here. Peppy sounds from this engine as well. A little bit of some torque steer, actually, I've noticed when it's in front-wheel drive mode, but you can simply just press all-wheel drive and it goes right into all-wheel drive, and no problem whatsoever. It is a little strange still that you have to activate it into all-wheel drive. That's just one little weird quirk with these systems, but it works well. I really have no complaints. I've used this in the snow and the XT4, not the exact same platform, but I am pretty sure it's almost the identical style of system here. It works pretty well in the snow, so no complaints there. I'm sure with these tires you won't have any issues. Turn-in is really quite nice, you know, not a lot of like aggressive body roll. It does definitely feel like a front-wheel drive vehicle most of the time, since you're going to be driving front-wheel drive mode, even with this all-wheel drive model. It's easy to drive, quick to drive, lots of visibility, lots of interior cabin space, pretty good engine. I think they have a huge hit sitting on their hands once again, with the tracks really knocked that out of the ballpark with the affordability and lots of features and a lot of interior space at that really low cost. I think the Trailblazer, it's kind of in this weird middle ground now, because this Equinox is just so good. I would just go straight to this. So I really wanted to upgrade from the tracks. Now we're gonna head out here on the highway. I'm gonna pop open my driver assistance view display here. And we're going straight into traffic, which might be a good way to test out our adaptive cruise control system here, which is pretty easy to turn on. You literally just turn on your normal cruise control system there and then set your speed. Of course, we can have our following distance set as well on here. Now there's no heads-up display option on the Equinox or Super Cruise available. I believe you are able to get Super Cruise on the Equinox EV, which is a totally different platform. It's on the GM Ultium architecture, but this can only highest grade get this adaptive cruise control system, which works totally fine. It's a great system, really no complaints there. It just doesn't have that full steering assistance that you're going to get out of Super Cruise. So here we see we're on the highway here. We can adjust our following distance, or gap adjust to really whatever we want it to be, and set our speed. Make sure your hands are on the wheel, and you should be set to go. No issues there. I think it works quite well. Of course, we have a heated steering wheel on here. I almost forgot to point that one out as well. But you know, first impressions, I like it. I really like it. I would like to see, you know, GM expand into maybe that hybrid space, 48 volt, something. I know it adds additional unnecessary costs, but I think they could squeeze even more cool stuff out of this powertrain if they even just offer it as an option. But of course, we do have that full EV option, so thankfully we do at least have that, and it's a pretty good EV at the end of the day as well. Even out here on the highway with these larger, notchier rubber, it's not that loud in here. Noise is really still kept to a minimum. I think they did a great job with sound deadening. If you even just have a look under the hood, there is loads of sound deadening kind of foam materials to prevent a lot of sounds entering this cabin. So they thought about that too with this Equinox. It almost feels like they went to the customers, asked everything that was, you know, they wish they could have improved on that previous generation Equinox that was out for such a long time, and they fixed it all here and did it really well. I even just like how the climate controls have these little screens here for our temperature adjustment there. I'm just a big fan of this. This is a good generation of GM products coming out right now. Yes, there's going to be little quirks and kinks with everything here and there. Every new generation of vehicle may have that, but overall, this is going to be a huge seller, I think, for Chevrolet and GM as a brand. Big remarks there. And I like now how they have the volume control and tuning knobs behind the steering wheel as well, right underneath your paddle shifter, so I can adjust my volume from the steering wheel on the behind and keep the front of the steering wheel nice and clean, not overcrowding it with a lot of buttons. I like that little intuitive control system there. And again, really high marks. So this one's again my first drive in this all new 2025 Equinox. Stay tuned for my full review and tour of this vehicle coming quite soon after this video, and as always, stay tuned for more coming on Allcarnews. Cheers.